Imagine you've decided to put on a mask and fight crime. You start out small, patrolling your own neighborhood. In the world of business, we call this being a sole trader. As a solo vigilante, you have absolute freedom. You don't have to vote on which villain to chase down. You make every decision yourself, instantly. And when you collect a reward for stopping a robbery, you keep every single penny. Now, acting alone doesn't mean you can't have help. You can hire sidekicks or even an entire support team. But legally, no matter how many people you employ, there is still only one owner at the top. This setup is easy to start because there's almost no paperwork, but it also means you carry the entire burden. If the mission fails, the responsibility stops with you. Things get complicated when the mission goes sideways. Let's say during a fight, a building is accidentally leveled. Suddenly, you're facing a massive bill for property damage that your operation can't afford to pay. This is where being a sole trader gets risky. Legally, the business is unincorporated, which means the law sees the hero and the civilian as the exact same legal unit. There is no line between your business life and your personal life. Because there's no separation, you have unlimited liability. It means that if your business owes a debt it can't pay, the law says you are personally responsible for every cent of that debt. To pay for that building, you might be forced to empty your personal savings, sell your car, or even be forced to hand over your civilian laptop to satisfy the people you owe money to. This structure creates a massive personal risk. It's the main reason many sole traders are afraid to grow their business or take on bigger, more expensive challenges. To handle those bigger threats, you might decide to call in an ally. When 2 or more people agree to run a business together, they form a partnership. Most partnerships have between 2 and 20 people. This gives the mission more power. Not only do you have more money to invest in gear, but you also have different specialist skills. One of you might be a master of gadgets, while the other is an expert in strategy. But adding partners means giving up total control. Decisions aren't instant anymore. You have to consult the team. And if you disagree on which villain to chase, the whole operation can stall while you argue. So while partnerships help share the workload and the costs, they introduce internal conflict. And in most cases, they don't fix the liability problem. Each partner is still risking their personal assets if the business fails. To truly protect your civilian life, you need to upgrade the structure again. You and your partners decide to incorporate, becoming a private limited company. Incorporation creates a separate legal identity. It's like building a wall between the business and the owners. The law sees the company as its own distinct person. This wall provides limited liability. If the business goes bankrupt, the banks you owe money to can take the company's assets, but cannot get past the field to touch personal savings. You raise funds for this company by selling shares, small pieces of ownership. However, to keep total control over the mission, you only sell these shares privately to people you trust, like friends and family. As you master these structures, pay attention to the specific word company. Legally, that term only applies to incorporated businesses like this one. You should never use it when talking about a sole trader or a partnership. A private limited company gives you the ultimate shield for your personal wealth, while letting you grow the operation safely within a small, trusted circle. Eventually, a global threat emerges that requires an astronomical amount of money to defeat, far more than any group of friends could ever provide. The solution is to become a public limited company, or a PLC. This gives you the legal right to begin advertising shares for sale to the general public on a national stock exchange. But this financial superpower comes with administrative baggage. You have to deal with complicated legal formalities and expensive consultants. Most importantly, you are legally required to publish your financial accounts for everyone, even your competitors, to see. There is also a risk of losing control. Because your shares are on the open market, anyone can buy them. If an outside group buys more than 50% of the shares, they legally own the company and can vote to remove you from the leadership. Going public provides access to the massive pools of funding needed for global expansion, but it forces you to trade away your privacy and your absolute control. Choosing a business structure is like picking your loadout for a mission. You have to match the legal shield to the challenge ahead. For a small local operation where you want to be the only person in charge, you start as a sole trader. If you're opening a professional firm where you need to combine the skills and money of several experts, you form a partnership. When you have a growing startup that needs to protect its owners from debt without letting outsiders interfere, you choose a private limited company. And for those massive multinational projects that require millions in public funding, you take the leap to a public limited company. The best structure isn't the one with the most power, it's the one providing the right protection and funding for your specific journey.